Like our promo said, to commute on daily basis to get our activities done, we must use the road. Even if you're going to take the train, even if you're going to fly, even if you're going through the boat, you have to, one way or the other, have a communication with the road, either on your foot or in the car, however it is. So the road is very important. Incidentally, statistics tells us different things at different times, but all of them pointing towards one thing, that when we do not do the right things, we lose lives, we maim lives, we cut off so many things around us, including injuring ourselves. You know, the thing is, it's important for us to understand, why are people losing their lives? Why are people getting injured, being on the road? It is important, and that's why we're sitting here discussing it, getting to find out those answers that we need to have, and then at the same time find out the rules, the road rules, the signages. Are they helping us? Well, when I say we have people in the house, and some people will still be walking in, but let's start by introducing ourselves. Me first, yes, Elizabeth.
My name is Joe Kwenochi. It's good to be here this morning.
Okay. How many times do you break the traffic rules in a day?
I don't. I try not to do that, especially now, where I think the new traffic lights have cameras.
Okay. Some people are sitting up. Okay, let's have you introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Adaji Usman. I am the zonal coordinator of the Federal Road Safety Corps, in charge of the Special Marshal RS7. RS7 comprises of FCT and Niger. I supervise those two states as the Special Marshal. Well, taking from what Joy had just said, I think we don't need to be told what to do. We don't need the traffic lights to have cameras before we begin to obey the traffic lights. I think it should be inherent in us.
Okay. Beyond the traffic lights, beyond the road signages, beyond every other thing that happens on the road by way of mistake, there are other things that happen. Do you know that sometimes we expose ourselves unnecessarily and we get either kidnapped or what we call one chance? Yes, it is a real thing. And then we're winning team took the time and packaged something around the one chance situation here in Abuja. Let's see it.
The average person wants to be financially stable. Not a bad aspiration, but how extreme can we go to achieve this? For some, very extreme. This is the story of a young woman who was horribly a victim of those who chose to take these measures. On the 15th of May, Nneka Leonard planned on attending the memorial of a friend who had recently passed away. She was traveling from Lagos to Port Harcourt by bus and unknowingly fell into the clutches of kidnappers. While passing through Owerri, she noticed there were men and women on the bus, and after some time, she felt a hand cover her face and she passed out. When she regained consciousness, she was tied up in a forest at night in the middle of nowhere. She had been abducted along with two other women from the bus. Out of fear, Nneka started to scream,
Help! Somebody help! Help! Somebody help!
and 6 men appeared. They began to beat her up and stripped her naked.
Jago, come on, that girl clothes now, fast now. I will say do like this.
Come on your clothes, you know the
Come on, this girl clothes, I mean.
Come on your clothes.
Do it, one do sharp. No,
as in time no day. Open that now, open that clothes now. Come on your bra, you know.
Oh, if you don't come on this guy, I will not tear your clothes.
Come on that clothes.
They mad me.
They Chris, come on town.
They then told her to call her people. She managed to get in touch with her family, but tragically, this was not the case for two of the other women. 2 days later, the kidnappers informed her and the last woman that they had people who cared enough to pay their ransoms.
Omo, you get luck, say your people like you. I swear you get luck.
I swear,
You get luck,
So in the middle of the night, a man on a motorcycle came and carried the two women away. The man then left them alone on a deadly road. Because they appeared unkempt, as they had been beaten up and were naked, No one approached them except for one man who offered to help. This was how Nneka Leonard's life was spared. Regrettably, this gruesome experience is not unusual, so it can affect anyone out there. Stay safe and always be aware of your environment.
Okay, so you saw that bit with us, and then while it was going on, Mr. Daji, you were quick to say these things are quite rampant now.
Yes, yeah.
And I'm wondering why. That's the question that was in my head, but I didn't voice it. I'm voicing it now. Why?
Well, in the first place, some other persons might be tempted to say it's poverty, but I don't see it that way. I see it as greed. I see it as wickedness. I see it as something that is ungodly. And for us in this country, we are too godly to be involved in things like this, because on Fridays, you see the multitude of people
True.
trooping to the mosque. On Sundays, it's the same. And even the idol worshippers, they are very concerned about their religion. So I think I expected better. But be that as it may, I think lawlessness is also part of some of these things, because some people are not made to face the law when they commit these crimes. I'm happy we have a barrister in the house, because most times you will discover that once people commit these crimes and then you want them to face the law, the issue of rights comes in. The lawyers goes out there and say, look, that is his fundamental human right, and then you begin to, the onus now lies on you to prove whether or not this person is guilty of this offense or otherwise. So until we begin to make people to face the wrath of the law, I'm not saying it should be an instant justice, but of course we should be able to be quick. To ensure that the law, takes its course on issues like this. Until we do that, I think this thing is on the increase, and it's worrisome. For me, I think about that. Just 2 days ago, I read through one of the social media where a lady saw a link. Somebody sent a link to her that they needed ushers, and what she did was, because in search of job, she needed to key in quickly into that link, and she was invited. Please meet us at some point. The bus will pick you from here. We are meeting us. And by the time she got there, she was kidnapped to an unknown place, molested, raped, messed up, and she had to do a video to save a lot of persons against this. That is another method they are employing now. So ladies are more susceptible to this than even the men. That is not to say that the men are also having their own feel of this, but I think we need to do more, especially the security agencies need to do more. These things were very rampant in Lagos. Now they have shifted base to Abuja. Almost all parts of the countries are also, we find all this kind of
happening
menace.
every day, everywhere.
So we need to really step up our games.
Yes.
And information matters. You need to know who your neighbor is, what does he do, what does she do. She goes out in the morning, where is she going to? What kind of job does she do? Now we said, look, what's my business? That is her business, that is his business. No, it's our business. It should be our business.
It is
we need to be concerned. I think we need to up our game.
Okay, we need to up our game. And then you have already told us that a barrister sneaked in during the short drama they feature there. Thank you for joining us. And then you're going to have to take your bonds, because you already have been mentioned. And I'm still going to add something to it. What are we doing wrong as individuals to attract, this? Because my people say that he that brings ant-infested faggots should not complain at the visit of a lizard. Are we bringing the faggots?
Thank you very much. I don't need to be introduced. My name is Ike Utazi. As usual, I saw a topic, I say traffic
Violation
in Abuja. There is a proverb in my place.
I said the first proverb. I thought that would help you not to say another
No,
one.
there's a proverb
Because
in
the
my...
barrister must always talk with proverb.
I'm sure he's a traditional man. A red captive.
They say a goat that is being taken care of by many people dies of hunger. Why? Because this one was, I thought you fed the goats in the morning. They said, no, I thought it was you who fed the goats. So what am I saying? How many agencies of government regulate traffic in Abuja? How many?
That's a
Let me
pertinent
name
question.
them. Federal Road Safety, Directorate of Road Traffic, the Nigerian Police Force, then some other ones from AMAC and the rest. So you don't know who
That's
is
in
doing.
Abuja. In some other places, they have extras.
Yes, you don't know who is doing what. I come to what he said about people obeying the law, punishing them. Did you see, or do you see what taxis do in Abuja? One drove what he drove one day. I said, why are you driving like this? He said, now our people. I'm sorry to say this. They don't catch them because they are a union. Have you seen private commercial vehicles, those taxis in that VIO place parked for violation? Go there and check. You won't see.
No green color.
It's only private vehicles you see there.
Wow.
True.
I never really observed.
You
this.
won't observe that. So lawlessness, like he said, is engineered by invisible hands. I'm sorry to say this. So that is why you see all those lawlessness. They say a bird dancing on the middle of the highway. Somebody is beating the music somewhere in the bush because he should have been afraid of vehicle coming to crush.
True.
So this is the issue. There are too many agencies doing one thing. So they have some corrupt associations with these people. So you don't know who is in charge of what.
Are you by chance implying that the Association of Taxi Drivers may have been settling certain
I'm
agencies?
not saying it is a truth known to everybody.
For instance, sometimes they say the onus lies on.
I don't know.
I'm happy.
Prove. I've told you what
I'm
a taxi
happy.
man told you. He
I'm happy
drove
you
somehow.
said
He said, "Now our
There are
people."
No, I'm happy you're saying it because they always say that I always fight regulators on the
So
show.
there are too many. We don't know who is doing
Doing
what.
what? Agreed.
We also have the one they call the Federal Highways Act that empowers the minister to manage traffic on the highways. So there are too many. Then that is one. Then let me just cross over to Ghana. We have the MTTD in Ghana, Motor Transport and Traffic Department. It is a department of the Ghana Police Service, and they have offices in all the regions. It's just one like that. So in that case, they can easily do their job and get results. Now, if there is a traffic offense in Abuja, who do you report to?
Wike.
No.
You cannot easily answer the question.
I can.
Is it the road safety? Is it the police?
I was just
Is
waiting
it
for
the
you
Directorate
to
of Road
round up
Traffic
so we can,
Services, which you could call the VIO?
Okay, he has the answer.
Yes,
Okay, please.
the answer is very, very clear.
All right.
Now, like the names goes, Federal Road Safety
Commission or
Corps.
Corps.
It used to be Commission, Corps.
Yes.
There's the Commission, the Federal Road Safety Corps. Now, Federal Roads. It is very clear, Federal Roads. That is why in most cases you see them on our highways, on the Federal Roads.
That's for
they
the
are
road
meant.
safety.
Yes, they are meant to take care of the Federal Roads. Then, within the cities,
Yes.
all roads that are linked to federal roads within the cities are also manned by the Federal Road Safety Corps. Then the issue of traffic management is also part of the activities of the Federal Road Safety Corps. Now, when you talk about having the VIOs, the people we call the VIOs now, and so on, these people, the real job, they are revenue generation department. You could check them out. They are revenue generation. Now, road safety, the VIOs, and of course the states is a tripod. They manage. Sometimes when people try to misunderstand the jobs of the road safety, the VIOs, and so on. Now, because of the production of driver's license, now the vehicle.
That one is very important.
Yes, the driver's
Because
license.
I don't know who
the
does
vehicle.
what.
No. That's where I'm going now. The driver's license, the plate numbers, and so on. Now, these things they operate on what we call on a tripod. Now, on this tripod, every department, every area, the road safety produce the driver's license. The vehicle plate numbers. Hand them over to the VIOs. the VIOs issue out the plate numbers of the vehicle. Road safety does not issue out vehicle plate numbers.
Okay.
But so in every road safety or VIO's office, you have a road safety department.
Oh, okay.
Domicile there. In the same vein, in every road safety office, you have a VIO department domicile there. In the course of issuing out driver's license, you must go through a VIO test. Okay, you must pass through that test once you are cleared from there, before you can be issued a driver's license. In the same vein, if you go for your vehicle particulars, particularly the driver's, the plate numbers, you have the VIOs, the road safety domicile in the VIO's office. Now, these people do not work, they don't work independently, they work together. They have an understanding on how these things run. Now, the party is talking about who do you report to. When there is a traffic offense, it is very clear that the road safety manages all issues related to traffic nationwide. Now, what you see in states, there are some states that you don't have VIOs. In Kaduna, for instance, you don't see VIO. They have a particular establishment that manages them. That is introduced by the state itself to assist the road safety in managing the traffic. If you go to Nigeria, they have their own peculiar traffic agency that also manage that. But what I'm trying to say is that these people does not work independent of one another. They work together in collaboration.
Sorry, sir. The question hasn't been answered. You are talking of traffic management. I say, when there is a traffic offense,
Yes.
who do you report to?
I just said it clearly that you refer to road safety. It's the road
You
safety.
report to road
The
safety.
road safety, there's an act that establishes the road
Wait,
safety.
I'm coming. I have read all the laws
Beautiful.
before coming here.
Beautiful.
You don't report traffic offenses to the road safety. You report to the Nigerian police force. Have you seen a road safety officer coming to the court to give evidence about a traffic offense? Have you seen?
Okay, let me clear something. If there
You
is an
have not
accident-
seen. It's not possible.
If there is an accident on the road now, and then the first caller is the federal road safety, what they do is that they bring in the police as quickly as possible. They inform the police there's an accident at so point. The police now comes in conjunction with the road safety clears all the mess around the place. If possible, they invite is it FEMA? No, what do you call it? NEMA? NEMA also comes. Now, the traffic offense, in managing that traffic offense, is done by the police, just like you said.
I clearly understand you. That's what I'm saying. That I have read all the laws. They are the same. We have the traffic. Do you want me to start reading them?
No,
I read all of them.
let's
It is the same thing.
Let's discuss it.
It is the same thing. They just copy and paste. This one will be doing this, the same. This one will be doing this, the same. This one. I read all of them.
So all of them are the same.
The same.
Okay,
So
maybe,
why are you wasting resources without achieving anything? Have we achieved anything by all those multiplicity of agencies?
It's designed, like you said, so that they can work in collaboration and reach out.
They are not working in any collaboration until government decides. See the mess in Abuja. You know why? Everybody is doing his own thing. There must be a coordinating agency for traffic. They shouldn't be independent. The police are independent. The road safety are independent. The DRTS, Directorate of Road Traffic Services, are independent.
Okay.
Then you now have the AMAC ones that wear polo. They are independent.
Everybody is independent.
What I am proposing is, like I told you what happened in Ghana. They have the MTTD, which is a department of the Ghana Police Service. They have offices in all the regions in Ghana. That is their job. But they are under the Ghana Police Service.
Okay. Now, without
so that you can now achieve that result you want. All this mess you'll see, you won't see it again.
All right. So before I move out of the one chance business and get to other offenses on the road, I want us to look at our, without the law enforcers, our individual problems, that constitute, because I think that, like I mentioned earlier, if you bring in ant-infested faggots, you definitely have the visit of lizards. So I think that if I went to the road rather than the park to take a taxi, I have brought in the ant-infested
Yes, I
faggots.
agree with you.
So if they say, okay, transportation park is collecting 500 and on the road is 400 and I want to save 100, I end up getting myself
So whose fault?
Exactly. Where when you close work, you're driving home.
Yeah.
Your car is not painted. You're going through certain routes, and I see a lot of people standing on the road. You see me, my car does not in any way look like a taxi. You're flagging me down. One thing that goes on in my head, and I said to myself, are these people okay? I mean, there's one chance business every day. You're flagging me down. You don't know who I am. Even though I also think that me taking them is also a problem because they could also be a problem for me. Yeah. They could be armed, even though they are carrying babies. Sometimes they are pregnant, sometimes they are aged. It doesn't mean anything. Thieves don't have facial, expression that is assigned to them particularly. So I want us to look at what are our own individual contribution to this problem.
Okay. It's sad, but that's the reality on ground right now. I remembered we were all going to Kaduna, and some people decided to go by road, and some people decided to go by train. And when we're going to the station, I saw some young girls by that Idu place, and they were flagging down vehicles, and I was a bit scared, taken aback, because why? I will not even enter a cab where there are men. And anytime I enter a taxi, I like to stay behind the driver. I like to watch his, the expression of his eyes, and all that. Some people, when I was much younger, I used to sit in front. But when I got older, I sit at the back. And I always tell people, nothing is free. It comes with there's a cost. There's a cost, and when they're flagging down, they're not flagging down because they want to pay. They're flagging down because they're looking for a favor. And I don't know, you don't know the person. Even the person you are not too sure of him. When we're coming back, we had a situation, the driver was not at the station, and we're coming with some friends, and the cab guys were telling us 15,000 and everything, and my friend was livid. And she just flagged this guy. And she says, can you take us to the junction? I said, we don't know him. She said, he looks responsible. I said, okay, we are three. So anything that happens, there's that thing that the three of us can fight him. And the good thing about the guy, he didn't allow us to sit in front. Three of us sat at the back. And after a while, he now says, Madam, where are you guys going? And we told him. And he said, my friend now asked the question, did you come and drop somebody? And he said, no, I went to Kaduna, but I parked my car here. Yes, we're lucky. And because we're three, you have to be intentional and be smart about it. Being well-dressed does not make you a good person. Especially women. Women. Somebody just got killed. After they robbed her, they threw her out of the car. And another car rammed on her, and she died. The other one you were talking about was lucky. You were raped, and it's not that she was lucky, but she can do something later and be a better person. You understand? But for this one that is killed, no second chances. So I don't know what's happening in the country. They say it's poverty. They say there are no jobs. But it doesn't make it right.
You see, you are very, very correct in what you're saying. There is something we say in law, volenti non fit injuria.
Okay.
Subsection what?
No. It's a Latin word. He said you cannot complain of an injury you
inflicted on yourself.
Acquiesced to. Now, let's go to the taxis. Are the taxis in Abuja registered with any agency that has a database of the taxis? So you can boldly now come and write 512.
Yeah.
So when you board the taxi, you say, I boarded 512. So that when something happens, they will go and look for taxi number 512.
Yeah.
Then by the time you enter the free one, That is where this volunteer issue comes in. That is your liability.
Yeah, true.
You see where I'm going? So if you
Yes.
enter the free one, it's up to you. But we don't even have this thing I'm talking. If you want to get it right,
Yeah.
this is where you will start. If you want to do taxi business, they will go and test you, test your brain, test everything, and register you and give you a number. On that your tax, they will boldly write your number there. It is also in the database. So when anything happens, I'll give you an example. Somebody took me from here to the east. The time I came to Abuja new, I didn't come with my vehicle. So when I want to travel to go and see my family, I'll go and take a charter. So when I call those transport people, they'll say they will recommend somebody to me. So they recommended one guy. He came to my house and picked me. So we were talking. He said, "Oga, I would have been a big man by now." I said, "What happened?" He said he was in the UAE. Somebody took him there. And he now learned driving, got licensed, and he went to a hire purchase company, and they gave him a vehicle for hire purchase. So in that vehicle, you are the only person that can drive it. If for any reason you don't want to drive, you go back there, they will go and change in the database the person that is driving that vehicle. So he said one day he was somewhat indisposed. He gave somebody to drive, and he had an accident.
Oof.
So that was how he was deported.
Hey.
Say he cannot enter that country again. I want you to see a country that is working. So every vehicle is registered with somebody to drive. You cannot say, "Help me drive this vehicle."
I'm
You know,
indisposed.
that country is
So
actually very,
I want
very
us, no.
civilized.
If you see this mess, let us go back to the root. What is causing this thing? We need to come back. Abuja is number one. Let there be a coordination. If you want to do taxi business,
do it.
come, let us assess you,
And train
register you, and mark your vehicle. Those who are doing the unbranded one, anybody that enters it, you are doing so at your own risk. Let us start from there.
No, but let
Okay,
me
I'll
chip
give
in.
you another example. When I came to Abuja, all those cabs, if you see the green, very neat. Do you see what the taxis have done to it?
They've killed all of them.
Do you see how the thing is looking so ugly? Because that's where they park. Then the thing dig hole. When rain falls, you see the thing, because there is no park. So they just coordinate themselves, contribute money, and give somebody and start messing up.
I want to chip into what he said about the database. Some weeks ago, we talked about it here, about this security, and I used Uber. This students took the Uber to go to buy drugs in Gusape, and apparently they didn't have money, and they killed the cab, the Uber guy. What he said about database is very important. But guess what? The police, they fished the guy. They fished the killers out. Why was it easy for them to fish the killers out? Because there was a database at the time the guy picked the last passenger. So it was so easy for them to fish those boys out, and they were arrested. And that was when the police brought them out and all that. You see, whether we like it or not, database works. Uber, and that's why many people, it's not because they have money. They do Bolt and Uber because it is easy. I share my picks. So if I'm going to enter an Uber cab, I'm sharing it with my mom. So you see, it is safer. And in this country now, like he said, the cab, they have to have a database. But there's something else I want to say about the database. Most of these cars are not painted. Most drivers are using their official cars for stuff. So you see where there's a lot of problem, and I don't know how it can be solved.
But you know, the issue is not, most times when we give this analysis, we talk about government. And that brings me to the question, who is the government?
All of us.
Now, the point here is this. Barrister made a very good analysis and analogy on how some of these things can become, which is key. But what have we been able to do as individuals to insist on the government coming up with not just the database. Database is not just meant for the taxes alone. Most of the things that does happen around us today is linked to not having a good database in this country. Now, I think, in my opinion, that all of us need to have so much to do. For instance, you have what we call the Nigeria Bar Association to start with. I know that most times you have your annual events, and your voice is one voice that is also very key in the society today. Some of these proposals are key. I am sure that once it's pushed vigorously, I think the government, no matter how deaf the government want to be or insensitive they want to be to some of these things, we will begin to get it right. Most times, our problem is, it is not my business.
True.
And before you know it, it becomes everybody's business. So it's one thing that we need to do. Two, even the Uber we're talking about today, people are also using it to perpetrate
true.
a lot of terrible things as we speak now.
So that's the taxes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So no hiding place anywhere. But most importantly, we need to do a lot of orientation. We need to do a lot of sensitization on the Nigerians through the churches, through the mosque, using the traditional rulers or leaders in at least people that have the people can listen to. We should be able to use those organs to speak to our people and let them know when they are to use a particular kind of vehicle and when they are not. I give you an instance, like you said. When I came into Abuja, way back in the 90s, towards late 90s up to the 2000, you don't drive into the National Assembly complex. That is the zone AB in a painted taxi.
Sure.
At that time, painted taxis don't go in. Now, there were painted taxis then, which were the acceptable means of transportation. Now, if you use that and then you get there, you don't drive in.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? It means that something is wrong.
accepted.
Something is wrong somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, at a point, El-Rufai came and said, "Look, these buses are not meant to be used. Taxis that are not registered shouldn't be allowed to apply." Now, at that time, if you take a taxi that is not painted, you allow access, which is also dangerous to the occupants.
Yes.
In the place. So, somebody is not doing his job right somewhere.
Sometimes I keep wondering where that sense, came in, because if we talk about safety, we want our taxis registered. We don't want our taxis perhaps with a certain type of color.
Yes.
But once those colors come in, they are not allowed. Not just National Assembly.
Yes.
In most organizations,
Most organizations.
they'll tell
People
you
are
we
talking
don't allow-
taxis. What of the kekes?
They don't
Even
allow
because-
painted.
Yes.
Meanwhile, those are actually the registered ones that are considered safe.
Considered.
But
But the point is, like he said, I think we need to really get people to do their job. Now, people come with different ideas. Sometimes somebody will just come with an idea that for me is a cake, and then he begins to allow his idea to sell, and everybody begins to, I know he's doing well. Whereas in the research of it, he's doing nothing. So we really need to sit down.
now you're talking about creating awareness. Before we leave this arm of the discussion, I want to bring certain sensitization to the e-taxi users. It's important. Sometimes you get into, be it Bolt, be it Drive, be it Uber, they tell you, can I go offline? And you ask why, they say fuel is expensive, so I don't need to pay. Please, that guy is asking you, do you want to die?
Yes.
Exactly.
That's what you should be
Exactly.
hearing.
These are the
If
things
somebody
I'm talking
tells
about.
you, can I go offline? Say no.
No, but how many people know that they've gone offline?
No. If he asks you to go offline,
No, but how many
and
people
you
know?
accept, let me tell you how
Yeah.
you know. If they go offline, when I get into the taxi, number one, the page is
It's
open.
Yes, that's true.
Number
So
two, I
follow
would
it.
have shared my ETA, that's my
Yes.
drive, to whoever.
Yes. Yeah.
And if the person likes me and wants to monitor, the person opens it. The minute you go offline, it's going to give you a
It's gonna go off,
notification.
yeah.
It give you a notification that your ride has ended.
Yeah.
So you raise alarm.
Yeah.
So if you are in the taxi and the person goes offline, pretend you didn't notice. Because if you scream, anything could happen.
yes.
So the first thing to do is allow him to get to where you can easily seek for help. Begin to raise alarm. The other thing again, before you enter the car, please check for child's lock.
Yes.
Exactly.
Because once you enter the vehicle, he
Yes.
charms the door.
Yeah.
That's
if the
it.
child lock is on,
You cannot come out.
access the door
Yes.
again. Check for child's lock and make sure it's open. Check your boots if possible. I always say, sir, can I look at your boots? And most of them will just smile. Some of them, one actually told me, do you know the way you're scared of me? That's the way I'm scared of you. I said, that's why you should also check my handbag if you want to. You know?
Listen,
So,
I think there
can I
is
check
more-
your boots? Because people hide inside. My colleague did not check her boots. And when she got in, she sat at the back. Somebody from the boots
Came.
opened the car seat
Yes.
and gave her a cut. She was just lucky. She was just lucky. So insist on seeing the boots. Don't be in a hurry. Somebody could be hiding there, you know. And then if you have a parcel, find out why are you carrying a parcel. If it's a gun, how will you know?
I
If
think
you
we
don't
can
ask.
put the government to speed on some of these things.
Yes, it's
spoken on.
important.
Like the GRT, yes, the Director of Road Traffic Services. We can bring them. Maybe they don't know, or maybe they know and pretend not to know. We can bring them in. Like I do know from the organization I belong to, that the problem we have most time is when you come up with a policy, bureaucracy. The policy need to go through a lot of rigors.
True.
Probably it's not coming from somebody they anticipated it should come from, or it's not this, it's not that. And somewhere, somehow, it could be killed. And it's as good as a proposal that could help the country. So I think there is need for us to bring some of these people to your studio. You in the media house need to do a lot. And of course, bring them to speed into some of these areas. Because we need to do so much. A lot is desirous of us.
Why I'm particularly interested in this topic is the thing we call Ember Month is around the corner. So the crime,
it's here.
everybody
People around the corner is
is
here.
already here, right? So the crime rate is heightened, and then a lot of them is on the road. And I'm wondering, must we chase these things every year? So I'll let the barrister come in. How do we begin to curb?
we are talking traffic, but you see, this is another very important issue.
Yeah.
No, why I raise it is, you see,
No, I know.
it's on this period. The bus drivers will tell you they want to achieve certain targets.
I know what
so
you're
they beat
talking about.
traffic limits.
You understand?
I know what you're talking about. It goes to the issue of security.
Okay.
There must always be a third eye. I'm sincerely sorry. There is no third eye in Abuja. It's not the physical security you see. Those places, they cluster. It is very easy to detect a criminal. I told you I was a police officer. Yes.
True.
Very easy.
He was a police
Very,
officer.
very easy. If you go to those clusters where those taxis stay, there is nobody there. A third eye. When you see a criminal, when you see them, then you will know. And once you bust one, you sanitize the place. Once you bust one of them, you sanitize the place. They are so free. So that is why criminals commit offense, because if you bust one, bust two, everybody will sit up. In the estate where I stay, they say when they were still building the place, some people went and stole things from the store. They say some ran to Taraba. They arrested all of them, crowd of them, dealt with them. No, that place, if you like, open your door, nobody nears that place because the incident is still fresh in people's minds.
Yeah.
So that is what, there is no third eye. I'm sorry. There must be a third eye in terms of intelligence, undercover. Not all those ones stopping you. You don't beat traffic, you settle. There must be a third eye that busts these guys. If you deal with them, they will stop. There was a day, my in-law lives in my house in Abuja. My sister's husband is working here. He fell sick. He was in a hospital. In the night, the doctor called me. The doctor on night duty. He spoke Igbo. He said, brother, come and take your in-law away. These my people don't know what they are doing. We don't have anything here. I went there by 2 a.m. I drove around the whole Abuja with him, trying to find a place. There was nobody.
The town was empty.
Nothing. quote me.
Yeah, even
I
even
drove.
from 5
I,
o'clock.
I went to what do you call it? Federal Medical Center. Nothing. They said they know they admit. I went to National House. I went. Nothing. So because I was looking for a better, cheaper place. So I was forced to bring him to Limi Kado Care here, just beside you people here. Because that's where I use. The guy on duty say, okay, you know here, now you go pay, no be your NHIS stuff. I say, I will pay. They say deposit 500.
500 naira.
500,000.
Oh.
So I drove around for 2 hours or more. Nothing.
See, Barrister, to collaborate with what you just said, sometimes the nature of my job, most times I close late. Sometimes I leave town. I stay at the outskirts of the town. I stay in Kubwa. And you know that from town to Kubwa, you know the distance.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes if I leave around maybe 9:10, you could still see some pockets of checking points, you know. The times that I leave at 12:01, between the stretch of Mitama and its environs to Kuba, the only thing I see is some of these buses that drives in that late, unchecked.
And they do the one way.
And these people, they come in that late, 12:01, 2. You see them driving into town. And I keep wondering, now if these people are coming in with contrabands, with all manner of arms and what have you, who checks them? And that is the time they're driving.
Yeah, because they know.
Yes, they're driving that late.
They know.
So anything from 10, 11, they're off the road. And the place is empty. So I think, I don't know how we...
It's really a sensitive
and the other people that will check them, you know. So we don't have to say it here.
No,
Criminals are the easiest people to control. Once they know you know what they know, they will lie low.
Yes.
But when they check that nothing, they will commit the crime.
All right, our messages are coming in, and we'll take them as much as we can. Somebody says, this is a very interesting topic, but we need to be careful and be prayerful. These people are just everywhere. May Allah help us, protect us from their hands. Hussaini Kudu from Mina, Niger State. Hussaini, thank you very much, and we will pray. Nigeria is a praying nation, but the truth is, all prayer without work, faith without work is nothing. As much as we pray, let us still obey the traffic rules. That reminds me, you know what I've noticed? In fact, I actually said I was going to do a video, to call out people. On Sundays, people are going to church. And perhaps they are running late for the service or mass, whatever they are doing.
Yeah.
And because you're late, you're jumping traffic, you're beating red lights. And I'm wondering, will God answer that prayer?
But you see this thing you just said. Let me tell you what happened. God is not going to answer.
That is our orientation.
No, but
because God has told us, give to Caesar
what
Caesar own.
No, but let me tell you, something happened. There was, I think it was my deacon. He was in front of me, and he beat the traffic. And when I got to church, I said, bros, I see you. He said, sister, sorry, this is too early in the morning. It's too early in the morning. So you see, the thing here is that when you get to church, you have a different face. When you're outside, the real person comes out. You see the thing about beating traffic, there are so many people that beat traffic, and the bottom line is that they tell me, the people that are in charge beat the traffic. And that's the truth.
No, but it's different if I am a government person and beating traffic.
You shouldn't beat it as a government person.
Not good. It's not good.
I will not agree with you.
You're very correct.
I will not agree with you.
But what I'm trying to say is, if I am a pastor or I'm going to talk to God, who is an impartial person, and He has told me to be obedient to the law, and I beat traffic. Last Sunday, the man beat traffic. And eventually I caught up with him. I said, Oga, why? By the side, I said, Oga, why? And you know what he did? He stretched his hand and told me,
Waka.
Exactly.
I knew.
And I followed this man only for him to drive into Catholic church.
Can you imagine?
It's not right.
You see,
and I'm like, how is God going to answer your prayer?
But you see, most of the big men.
This issue of traffic, I think it concerns me more.
Yeah.
Because I have an understanding of how this thing runs. Now, what we do, we have done a lot of advocacies, a lot of sensitization, using the same clergy men, the churches, the mosque. We use school. We go to schools and do what we call catch them young. A situation where a child of about 6-7 years will tell you, my father doesn't use seatbelts. Does not use seatbelt.
Yeah.
And most times they tell their daddy, do you have a driver's license? Please put on your seatbelt. And the father will say, hello, I am not free. Each time I have my seatbelt on, I cannot drive well. Can you imagine that? So we have this issues. But there is something I want all of us to know. Once you have a particular habit inherent in you, it is difficult for you to deviate from it. It's not possible for me to sit behind the wheel now without my seatbelt. I won't be comfortable in driving.
No, but that
is one. Two, sorry. Have you also noticed that any time from 10 p.m. in Abuja, most of the traffic lights are off? Have you noticed that?
Yes, every man on your own.
No, but recently it's on.
It comes in ambers. Around my area is in amber.
In most cases, I can tell you free. In most
It's
cases,
in amber.
you know the reason? Sometime about that
Security.
time, the hoodlums take to the street.
Yeah.
You could stop by the traffic light,
and they just come out
and wants to, allow access by the traffic light, and somebody will just break your light. Even if your cars are fully locked, they break the glasses, and then do whatever they want to do. So most times at night, as late as that, people are usually scared of them. But that though is not an excuse. On Sundays, this thing happens more on weekends, particularly Sundays. And the road safety is doing a lot in taking these advocacies to the churches to talk to them on why they don't need to. If you must get to somewhere, you need to leave early enough to be able to get to your destination.
And let me just ask you, is it true? Because people are saying it's not true. Now, when you beat traffic lights, there's a camera now.
Yes.
So when you go to renew your papers or license, you pay.
There is a camera now. What that camera does is there's a chips in those cameras. Now it records whatever happens. Now every vehicle, now your driver's license, once you go to pick up the plate number, your plate number is registered with your name, just like he was trying to explain. Registered with you. Once you come, and then we'll just send in the plate number is picked. Once it's put into the system, it brings out every details about you. Every. That is where we are now. And the only problem
with the number of times I broke rules.
If it is 100 times, it should be traced. If it's 100 times. But you can see that it's just been test run in some places. It's not in all places. Now, drivers knows the ones that, there's these signs you see, like
some drivers don't know. Some taxi drivers
they know some of those ones, and they know the ones that are
some taxi drivers.
So if you get to where they know that there are cameras, you see them obeying the traffic rules. Once they leave it, that was why I took it up with Madam Joy at the beginning of this program, when she was talking about being told on what to do or not. And I said, no, we don't need to be told, because we know what is expected of us as Nigerians. But over and above all, I think we need to check our attitude.
Sure.
It's a general problem.
No, but you were saying things about churches and clergymen and all that. My problem is not churches. My problem is government officials.
How do you mean?
That's the truth. Because you see, if the drivers who I know don't know anything do that, I'm not offended. I see the ogas sitting in the car, watching the drivers. And there have been so many accidents. And the thing now is that because he's a big man, he has killed somebody.
With sirens?
Yes, with sirens.
In fact, yesterday I had the
with sirens.
A uniform,
it's
a uniform
wrong.
car. I don't want to call the agency, but it's a government agency. I was driving, coming from somewhere, and they had this convoy. They were making noise at the back, and they were overtaking recklessly. And I'm like, you guys are wearing uniform dress, uniform car, and you're breaking law. If I wasn't driving, I would have had to, taken my time and recorded them and played back here. It's wrong.
And the problem
it's wrong,
and let me not lie to you. One bashed my car and told me to go to hell.
Can you imagine it?
These things, you people have to do something about.
Can I help you? Can I tell you why I said
it's getting
about
worse.
attitude? You know why I talked about attitude?
Yeah.
The commercial of the Federal Road Safety Corps, I don't envy him. He is between the devil and the deep blue sea. A situation where a man commits traffic offense, the vehicle is arrested.
brings
and
a
is
lawyer.
brought. And before you know it, calls are coming from everywhere.
That's it.
He is related to me. He is this, is that. Now, because you are in charge of combating traffic offenses, or the man that commits traffic offense is not a criminal.
Yeah.
Oga, is he a criminal? He's not a criminal. So in road safety, we have we have the 3 Fs. You must be fair, you must be friendly, and you must be fair.
Firm.
You understand? You must be firm, you must be fair, you must be friendly.
So if the person
you cannot
dies,
be firm, you cannot be firm at all time. Because you need that human face to be friendly to these people. You also need to be fair in your judgment. Now, looking at all this, I put it to you, sir, with due respect.
Yes, sir.
If today your younger brother,
Yes, sir.
you are in charge of combating road menace in Nigeria,
Yes.
and your younger brother, your sister, your uncle, as the case
it's
may
the
be,
traffic.
commits a traffic offense,
Yes.
and the matter is brought to you, you ask them to execute him.
I'm coming to
It's a
that.
two-way thing.
So
That is why I said we need to work on our attitude.
Let me come
Let us not
in.
even
You are
commit
very
offense.
correct. You are very correct when you mention attitude.
Yes.
But I won't call it attitude.
Okay.
Back in those days, I don't know whether they still teach it. You know, we call it social studies.
Yeah.
The teacher will come and write boldly on the board. Today we have culture. And they say, define culture. They say culture is the way of life of a people. I still remember it. So I don't want to call it attitude. We have developed
a way of life.
that way of life, and we think it is in order.
Okay.
I will tell you a story which is in the public domain. Our colleague, Kelechi, KC, he was in Lagos practicing with the wife, MM. They are in Canada. He was he's still a minister. You remember the guy? He's from Mbise.
Okay.
He was a minister in one of these things. So he beat traffic. You Google it. You saw what happened to a minister in Canada. The issue became so ripe. So they were saying he was being profiled because he's a black, blah, blah, blah. But in the end, they redeployed him to another place.
Okay, sorry.
So what am I saying? Until we insist on the right, don't mind who is involved.
Whoever that is involved. Okay, there are questions that are coming in here. There are so many of them, but I need to just take. Somebody is asking, at what age should one start driving? Just briefly answer yes or no. 18.
Yes,
Okay.
adult. It must be
In
an adult.
Nigeria.
for you to drive, yes.
18.
Okay.
I have seen a lot of people doing wrong things though. Okay, 18 years you start driving. Interesting. My turn. I tuned in from. Okay, I'm tuned in from. He didn't say. Please, today call Marshall. How many days special Marshall? How many days or weeks or months do I have to replace my expired document? Briefly. Because
Now,
I don't have time.
The driver's
If it
license,
expires,
most
how
times
many-
it expires on your
Date
birthday.
of birth.
On your birthday. So once you're close to your birthday, you commence the process. And once that is done, you get, in fact, within 1 week now, the way it is now, you can even do bypass. You don't need to even go to the office if all your details are correct. Yes, do what we call bypass. There are lots of processes for acquiring a driver's license.
What she's asking,
once that is done,
what are the days
many
of grace upon
days of
expiry?
grace?
No. Once you have gone to pay,
said 1 month.
they give you a particular
So
document.
if
That
you-
document can serve within the period the driver's license is meant to
If
be
I
processed.
don't have money to pay, do I have 1 week grace?
Why should you, when you are already aware that by next month my driver's license
No,
will
but
expire?
VIO
So get yourself prepared.
VIO does one month grace.
No, it depends. My driver's license expired on 26th of September. As I'm talking to you now, I've acquired a new one. Now, a month of that period, I commence the process. That is what it is.
So don't wait.
You don't
Don't
need to
wait.
wait.
Don't
Once
wait.
All right.
before the time.
Okay, somebody from Suleja, he says, Fidelis from Suleja, that you should look at the buses and look at their speed limits. They never observe them.
Sure.
I'm not reading it completely the way he says it. I'm just summarizing. He's saying that a lot of speed limits are not observed. And this person says, thanks for trying your best to educate us today. But the fact still remains that the same we Nigerians don't know how to make use of self-discipline, mostly seen in civil workers. Sir, Thank you for asking Otazi that question, and the answer is bribery. Okay. Okay, answer the answer for you. All right, please, what do you say for those that drive and making phone call? The answer is no. Driving and making phone call is a no. Our time is up.
Use your Bluetooth.
No, I want to
Actually
also
thinking-
ask a question. When you read driving books, they said on no account should you hold the steering with one hand. Is it true?
That's correct.
Okay, so you cannot drive and answer call. You cannot drive and hold it on your hand.
But
Whatever
you see people
do,
drive with
please.
one hand from here to
What of the
Lagos.
amber lights?
Okay, see,
It's warning light.
amber light
Thank you.
is
So
a
police
warning
should
light.
stop fighting us.
Okay, so whatever you do, I want us to all remember that we have only one life. We should protect it. If you die, you're dead and gone. And if you're gone, somebody else will eat whatever you left behind. So be careful so that you can sit back and enjoy whatever you've sowed and reaped. We'll see you again next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.